session, the inaugural session, and we are so glad to have all our women leaders and doctors from all over the world with us. So, welcome all of you on behalf of AMWI. And I take this opportunity to invite our president, Dr. Mandakini Megh, ma'am, to please introduce this concept that what we are doing today and from today onwards. So I invite our president, Dr. Mandakini Megh. She has been she's a very vibrant leader and she is really taking our association ahead. She has been the vice president of Central Asia Regional Congress of AMWI. She has been the chairman of ICOG, and she has held so many multiple positions and on various organizations. And she never grows old. That is one of her key qualities, I would say. So, with this very brief introduction, I will invite our president, Dr. Mandakini Megh, to please to talk about today's session. Ma'am, you are muted. Megh, ma'am, you are muted.
Okay.
Yes, we can hear you, ma'am.
So, good evening. It is coming double voice.
That's okay, ma'am. We can hear you and we can see you also.
So I think there is some technical glitch. So before we actually start with Dr. Megh's talk, can we have? So I think we will invoke the God divine to come and to start this session. So we will have the inaugural prayer that we will start with. Lord Ganesha is the God who takes away all the problems, who is known as a God of wisdom. So we will pray to Lord Ganesha today, and as we start this AMWI Global Connect Dialogue series. So, Dr. Monica, can we have the prayer coming in?
Yeah, sure.
1 minute. Sorry, I joined.
Ma'am, we'll have the prayer and then we will have your talk.
Okay, no problem.
Monica, can we have the audio? So the prayer goes as Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. So anything that we start, we want it to go without any problem. And Lord Ganesha is here with us today. And from today and from now on, we will start this series. So we have Dr. Megh. I think she has joined us. Ma'am, can we have your talk?
Yeah.
Gauri, there is some echo when you talk.
Yeah, it is coming from madam's side because she's logged in on 2 devices. Ma'am, can you close down one device?
Ma'am, you need to unmute yourself. Unmute from the mobile one, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Perfect.
So, I think, good evening, everyone. And it's my great pleasure as a president of Association of Medical Women in India that we are having such dignitaries. Dr. Usha Saraya Madam, Dr. Bettina, thank you, Dr. Bettina, for agreeing to, be there for the inaugural session. Also, we have all the office bearers here, and I welcome you all on this very unique session of Global Connect, that is Women in Medicine. AMWI Global Connect Dialogue is an exclusive bi-monthly podcast series which will showcase the voices of medical women leaders across the world. And today we are immensely happy to have our Dr. Bettina and Dr. Saraya Madam. Though it is very engaging online interviews, sharing their personal and professional journeys. Also, we wish to that they should shed light on their struggle, their challenges they are faced globally by the women in the healthcare, gender bias, leadership barriers, work-life balance. Everything will be, we will be covering. Leaders are going to, throw light on that. The episode which explore their journey will offer insight into the strategies that they use to overcome adversity, be resilient, their vision as a leader for a more inclusive and equitable future in the global medicine. This will amplify the voices of women leaders and serve as an inspiration for generations to follow. 1 minute. India has been very active member of the MWIA, as you know, Madam Bettina, and the distinguished Gerard Oration. We have our pioneering person, Dr. Visha Sarya, who is going to talk on this. Distinguished Gerard Oration, MWI is delivered at the MWI International Conference and generally awarded to the past presidents who had done humongous job in their, in their tenure. India follows the principle of the Vasudham Kutumbam, and the world is our family. Hence, we have organized this series to unite the women of the world, working towards a common cause of betterment of healthcare and also the women leadership. At the outset, we would like to bring all the women in the medicine and the world a short, this thing overview of the AMWI through this short video. I think Gauri, you're going to run the video, short
Yes.
video, please. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am. Dr. Monica,
Hmm.
can you play the video, please?
Ma'am, while
Yes,
playing,
ma'am.
there is an option, the pop-up comes.
Uh-huh.
So please share sound.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can
So
you
we
play
can
the
hear
video,
the
Monica?
1 second. Is it seen?
Ma'am, VLC media, please.
VLC medium here. The sound is not coming, Monica.
No, ma'am, VLC media. Please close this. And
Monica, close this and go to VLC media. Open with.
yeah,
Open with.
open with.
Kali. Yeah. No, just now. No. No, ma'am.
Ma'am, where you are sharing the screen,
Huh.
you will find the 3 dots at the last. More options. From there, share sound. On the top.
Yeah, I've done.
Take it back, Monica, and we can't hear the noise actually. We can't hear the.
Now is it
Yeah, we
okay?
can. Yes. So thank you very much, Dr. Monica, for sharing this wonderful video to all our viewers and introducing AMWI to everyone. I request our President, Dr. Mandakini Megh to please introduce Dr. Usha Saraiya to our delegates.
Can you display the biodata?
Yes, I will.
Yeah.
Monica, can you share the biodata as well?
Yeah. I think it's a great honor for me to introduce my mentor, Dr. Usha Saraiya, madam. She is the epitome of the dignity, grace, and elegance. Madam, we still follow your footsteps at each and every step of our national and international activities. So, welcome to this session. Dr. Usha Saraiya, as we all know, she is the authority and the pioneer in the field of cytology, colposcopy, preventive oncology. And I take great pride in introducing Madam. She is a consultant obstetrician and gynecologist. And when she says, I'm going to my consulting room, and whenever I, talk to her, that she's operating, I think that is the highest level of motivation for anyone to follow her. As compared to her, we must be doing all our clinical work, all our academic work with the same zeal and zest as Madam is doing. She is a living example for all of us in India as well as internationally. She's attached to Bridge Candy Hospital, Safety Hospital. She is the founder, member, and past chairman and ICOG. I'm extremely proud that I could follow her footstep and become the chairperson of ICOG. Past president of MOGS, Foxy ICOG, Foxy, AMWI. She is the chairman of the Ethics Committee of Clinical Research of highest body, that is ICMR and NIRRH. She has started our cytology clinic way back in the golden jubilee that time, and at the Kama Hospital 1970. You can see how many years are already passed, and she has achieved so many awards. Every conference, Madam is awarded for her lifetime services to the gynecology and the women's health. So, Lifetime Achievement Award first is by MWIA, because she has already completed 50 years of her, membership as AMWI, also by the Foxy, also AMWI and the emojis. An award of Living Legend by IFCC and award by the Legend by AMWI. I think, Madam, with these words, I will request you to please, share your thoughts and, throw lights on this particular global series which we have started.
Thank you very much. Am I visible? Am I audible?
Yes, Madam.
Now you can hear me properly?
Yes, Madam.
Good. So thank you, Mandakini. There was no need to give such an elaborate introduction at all. I think most people in AMWI and many in MWI also have seen me around at conferences and are familiar with my face at least. So I must compliment you for starting this series of podcasts, emphasizing the important role that women doctors can play and are playing in improving the status of women worldwide. Today is our first such podcast, and I'm very happy to inaugurate it because I think it's a very vital way of reaching all the population. Both AMWI and MWIA have, in their own way, promoted women's empowerment for over 100 years, tirelessly. And they have improved the lives of women globally. And we are very happy to have the first speaker in our past president of MWIA, Dr. Bettina. Now, when we think of women's empowerment as such, immediately it comes to our mind how well women doctors have come. They were not welcome in the profession, as you know, and they started in the late 19th century, and with persistent and hard work, They became respected, irreplaceable, admired, and contributed to improving the health of women, children, and the whole family. That is why it is said currently that the 21st century will belong to women and to technology. The first quarter of 20th century is already upon us, we're over, and I think there has been commendable achievements in the status of women, although much, much more needs to be done. We need to bring every single woman to become empowered, to be confident, to be able to contribute to society, to be able to look after herself and her family, plus have some sort of career or earning capacity. So I would like to mention here the role of United Nations. You know, United Nations was formed after the Second World War, and very early in its life, they decided they will have a division called UN Women, United Nations Women, with a woman director general of their own, and in those in the same headquarters of United Nations on the Second Avenue, with a very prominent role to play. And this organization arranges a conference annually on status of women in worldwide. And this year was the 69th such conference, and it's available online, so one can always participate, even if you don't go to New York. And I'm so glad that today's guests, Bettina, Manda, myself, we have all attended this conference and been a part of the faculty. And it was an exhilarating experience. And I hope all of you plan at least to attend one such conference and get the feel of it as what we can achieve if we are united, if we are together, and we work for the common good. Now, we welcome Bettina, of course, amongst us. She has visited us in Mumbai, and I've had the privilege of meeting her all over the world. Munster, we met first, which is her hometown, Copenhagen, Seoul, London, Vienna, New York, and also Mumbai. So, and she is an awardee of the Dr. Gerard Coration at one of the conferences. So, Manda mentioned about this award. This award was established by AMWI in memory of Dr. Gerard, who was an epitome of charm, intellect, abilities, and grace. She was truly a woman who was powerful and one of the persons most respected in India, so much so that she worked during the time when we were governed by British rule. So they gave her an MBE, and when we got independence, government of India gave her a Padma Shri. So she was respected by all. So you will be meeting many of these Gerard awardees in these sessions, and you will realize how much they have contributed to the subject. So I just want to end on a few mottos which I really believe in about empowerment. First thing is, let us talk of gender harmony. We must live in harmony with all the various genders now that we have. And it sounds better than gender parity. It's not as if we are asking for anything. We just believe in harmony. We believe that women's rights are human rights. So we are not asking for anything new. All of us, male or female, we are human beings and we have got human rights, and let us just establish them. And firstly, we are not against men. We appreciate the support given to us by our fathers, brothers, husbands, sons, and our male colleagues. They must also respect us and give us the opportunities to advance as per our abilities. We are not asking anything more. So what we want really is to have a professional life, have some income generating activities. At the same time, we are happy to maintain our femininity. We want to maintain our responsibilities with the family. And we are proud of these effeminate or feminine virtues. We are not trying to discard them at all. So I know all of you will also have your own concepts of what you mean by empowerment. Everyone has something special. And I think during these discussions, all these points may get discussed and may add some more new ideas also. So let us all enjoy this session, the first session. And thank you once again to Dr. Megh and to Bettina for being our first speaker and giving us her views on the subject. So
Thank you
you
so
once
much.
again. Yeah.
Yes.
Madam,
Thank you so much,
Chair.
Dr. Saraya and Dr. Mandakini Megh, ma'am, for getting this dialogue series started and the ball rolling. Thank you so much. I would request our Secretary General of AMWI and the Secretary General of FOXY and holding multiple positions, vibrant lady of Mumbai, Dr. Suvarna Khadilkar, to introduce our guest for today, Dr. Bettina Pfleiderer, who's here from Munster and has sparing her valuable time with us. So, ma'am, I would request you to introduce Dr. Bettina. Dr. Monica, can we have her CV slide on?
Any other thing? It is indeed pleasure that I have been given this task, and I think I must thank Dr. Mandakini Megh and you, Gauri, for giving me this task, because many years ago, I don't know if Professor Bettina remembers. She had visited our cytology clinic in Mumbai, where I was working as the associate professor, and we had all taken her around hospital, and we had lovely time with you, Bettina, and it's a pleasure to introduce you. You have been Professor Dr. Med Dr. R.E.R. RER Nat, and she has been affiliated to clinical for radiology, medical faculty, and University of Munster. And I particularly was astonished and amazed to see her work in the field of neuroradiology. I think she has done lot of research in brain, then brain functions, neuroimaging, using neuroimaging methods in experimental pruritus research, and so much of research in neurology, because that particular topic is very close to my heart also, because I discuss it at the every evening at the dinner. So I am particularly amazed with your research interest, Professor Bettina. And besides that, there are other academic and administrative functions here since 1997 to date. She has been holding several important positions. Her currently she is a board of directors of G3 Working Group for Modern Medicine, and she had started off since 1997. She was the founding member of the German section of International Society of Magnetic Resonance in Medicine. So I think we are lucky to have you here for this particular talk. And she's got several awards and honors to her credit. And again, her one of the most important, and what we are proud about, is she has delivered Dr. Usha Saraya Oration Award of the AMWI, which I think I had initiated. She has also given most prestigious Girard Oration, I think, which Dr. Saraya just mentioned. And she has also won a lot many other awards and accolades. I think there is a long list of her awards. So I must appreciate all the work that you have done, Bettina, and over to you for your wonderful deliberations. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Suvarna Khadilkar. I would now request Dr. Mandakini Megh and Dr. Bettina to take this evening forward. We have been waiting to listen to Bettina ma'am very eagerly, and we are so thankful to her. So I think there is someone who is not muted. Can the others please mute yourself, because I think there is somebody who is not muted. So thank you very much. And can we have Dr. Megh and Dr. Bettina on the screen, the technical team, so that we can have a focus on their interview?
Yes.
So Megh ma'am, can we start?
Yeah. I I hope you can listen to me. And
Yes, ma'am,
also,
we can see you as well. Yeah.
yeah, you can see me partly, no problem. But I think I'm going to ask full questions. So,
Yes.
so good evening, everyone, and thank you, Saraya madam. Thank you, Swarna. Wonderful, and personal incidences makes it so interesting. Gauri, you are always there for all the things, and she has done a lot of hard work. You can see, and putting everything together. Though I had today first time in the ICOG, I used Zoom so many times, but today something has gone wrong with my this thing camera. But anyway, I'm visible, and now I like to start the very important, and the prestigious personal podcast and the interview with Dr. Bettina. So, Dr. Bettina, uh, first thing, what is the time in your country? Because we are here in the evening. I hope you are comfortable with your time. And to start with, we all can see in your such a huge and biodata that your qualification says you are a PhD in chemistry, a very rare thing, and then you went for the medicine. So this is such a rare combination that after doctorate in chemistry and then in medical radiology, I think it is a wonderful to hear from you. How did you navigate the transition from science to the clinical medicine? Dr. Bettina, floor is yours.
Thank you. Before I start talking about this, I want to thank you, of course, Dr. Mandakini, for inviting me for this wonderful inaugural, event today. And it's an honor. It's really an honor, and I'm really grateful. And also, thank you to Dr. Usha as chief guest, and to all of you attending this Global Connect Dialogues, Women in Medicine. I'm so proud to be here, and I hope we'll inspire you all about, being a scientist and and combining two worlds. Yes. Why did I decide to study medicine after completing my PhD in chemistry? Actually, it was very interesting because in my first life, which I always consider when I finished my PhD in physical chemistry, I studied the degradation of silicone implants in women. As you know, women who has breast cancer, they usually often get silicone implants, at least in many parts of the world. And we noted that these implants degrade over time. And silicone was going out of the body, or was going out of the implants and was spreading, in the body, going to the lymph nodes, to the liver and other organs. And I developed in my PhD a method to measure silicone from the silicone implants in the liver. And I got several awards for that, but everybody asked me, what happens with silicone in the body? And I didn't know. And I asked many people in the world and said, do you know what happened with silicone in the body? What does the body do with biomaterials? And nobody knew. So I decided I have to study medicine to understand what the body does with silicone. And then when I wanted to study medicine, I went to my faculty, where I actually was still already working as a professor. And that, can I just visit the lectures about physiology and pharmacology and, what the body does with materials in the body? And they said, no, you cannot do it. You have to study it, because it's very difficult to study medicine in Germany. So it's a long waiting list and so on. So I decided, I applied for studying medicine, and I became a student when I was 36 years old, and I went back to study medicine, but working at the same time already as professor. So I combined both worlds. One world was working, having PhD students already, and the other was studying medicine. And that's how I started it. And I learned what happens with silicone in the body. So that's why I needed to study it to know what's happening. And then I realized that I love medicine. I love working with patients. I love talking to patients. I love to combine my both worlds. And this was to go into clinical radiology because this was the natural thing to do. Combining technique, which, was my first world, but the clinical eye and view on things, which was my second world. And then I discovered the brain because I felt the brain is very fascinating. And Suvarna, you already talked about it, that my topic, one of my topics actually, because in my MD thesis, I did another thesis. I looked at the brain and how the brain is basically responding to language. And I found out that the brain of women was sort of, processing language in a different part of the brain than men do. So usually, women are processing language in the front part of the brain. And I always say men are processing behind the ears. It's the temporal lobe. And this is very important because it's important when you do rehabilitation after stroke, because rehabilitation is different for the temporal lobe than doing it for the frontal lobe. So, so my work really was important also for clinics and rehabilitation. Yeah, and that's how I combined those worlds. And that's how I started the combined worlds. Started like from silicon, but I then moved on to the brain. And here I am.
Yeah, so it's very interesting. It's very interesting to note that, your curiosity and your, inquisitiveness led to the doing it medicine. And that is, I think, quite commendable because very rarely people tend to, mix up, science with technology. Because in my house, I have 3 PhD, but nobody has gone in the medicine. The medicine person is in medicine and PhD is in PhD. So thank you for briefing us. Now, what advice will you like to give under such background? What advice will you like to give to young women who are interested in this stem cell and medicine? That we want to hear from you. Yeah.
Well, my advice, as you said before, is first of all, be curious about things, not being afraid to leave your comfort zone, because very often people say, oh, I'm a scientist and I don't want to go into medicine, and the other way around. So usually both worlds are not connected. And I realized when I was only, so to speak, a physicist working in medical physics, in the hospital, that the clinician said, oh, we have a physicist there, but they didn't take me serious because they felt I have no idea about clinics, which is true actually. And also, and my advice is also to be curious, but have courage, because also leaving your path needs courage. It's not that easy, because the medical world has a different thinking. We need to do things differently. We're having a goal. We have to treat patients. We have to diagnose patients. We have to make decisions. Sometimes they're gut feelings, and they're not always laws and says, oh, you have to do it this way. This is not always possible. And I think the best physicians are those who have the courage to decide, and use their experience they have for ages. And science is different, we have the natural laws, we have to calculate things. And if you say, oh, it's my gut feeling, nobody respects you. That is a very different thinking. So I think you have to curiosity, courage, and also endurance. Because if you go and combine both fields, at least you have to have the knowledge to combine them. And like I said, you have to at least get the national basis of medicine, which is different. It's different from clinical medicine. So you have to understand how anatomy well, histology well. You have to understand how drugs work in the body, how they're excreted. And this is sometimes not easy for a natural scientist. I can tell you from my experience. So, but you have to do that. So that you need endurance. So to have a basis in order to become a good physician. So my advice is also have the courage, the curiosity, and the endurance to try it, and it's very rewarding.
Thank you. Thank you, Bettina. Now, you have been very, I think, efficient President of Medical Women International. I think Dr. Usha Suraya, Nalini, we all have enjoyed your presidency. Previously, when I used to talk to you, I used to feel intimidated. I said, how can I talk to a president? Yeah. And then later I came to you. You were so nice. And what a small gift we have brought from India in a souvenir. And later on, you posted to me that, Mandakini, this is the souvenir I'm using in the Paris meeting. And that touched my heart so much. So apart from being a scientist and, such a, person of highest, I can say, intellectual, you are such a warm human being and you care for the people. I think that is a very important quality. And most importantly, when you were leading or when you're on the top of the Medical Women International Association as a president, how it has helped you as a person to develop or to be connected with the people? And how do you think you could navigate your role as a world president?
Okay, so let's first of all, thanks so much for your warm words about my personality. That is really warming my heart too. And I have to add on a personal note, I'm using all my presents I got while I was president and so on. So people know that I usually have wonderful bags from all over the world and from India and very nice scarves, and I use it all. I love it. And so that's very fond memories with each of these gifts. How did the being a president, develop my personality? I think what I learned is patience. Because for my personality, I'm one who wants to get things done efficient as German, I'm afraid, or get it fast, right? But when you work with many people from many countries, you have to understand that everybody has its own pace, has its own interest, and also their own barriers. Not everything we can do in Germany is possible in other countries, right? Or, there's a different understanding about things. And this, what I really learned, that you have to be, you have to really have everybody on in the boat, so to speak. And I want to share a very nice memory, because when I was president, or maybe it was always the year before when I was president-elect, but I shared the room with my really good colleague from Tanzania, Petronilla Nicolai. And she said, Bettina, I tell you a story from Africa. And he said, when you are, when you are caravan in the desert, the caravan will only survive if the first camel, in the caravan, it stays with the group and doesn't go ahead and don't wait for the other. So the most important person, or the most important camel, so to speak, to watch is the last one. And then the caravan will survive in the desert. So it was an African proverb, she told me. And I then said, that's how I will do things. And I put a picture of a caravan with the camels in my office, and I made an arrow on the last camel. So every time I thought, I'm getting really impatient, I looked at this picture and the arrow. So I think that's what I really learned, that you have to have everybody into the understanding what you want to do, to explain yourself, and to tell people why you think this way of doing things may be helpful. And so I think that really helped me a lot. And after I left being president from the Medical Women, I became vice president of the European Women's Lobby, representing 2,000 non-government organizations in Europe. And that helped me a lot, because we have 43 European members. I think there was so much I learned from my time as president for Medical Women, really, to see how can we find compromises, how we understand better each other. And I think I really have been growing a lot. So, and it helped me a lot. And as you may have seen, I'm now the co-head of delegation of the EU delegation of the W20, which is the G20 engagement group again, so we have to find compromises and move forward. So I think that the Medical Woman taught me a lot. And this was really helpful now for the work I'm doing. So that was the first question. And the second question was,
how can a professional network like MWIA support the women in medicine?
Yeah. How can I know there was one question before how you were able to navigate your role? Yes, that I explained. That I was open and was able to learn from others and listen what people told me. I think that's another thing for leaders is to listen and understand that when they give you feedback, it's not meant to be insulting you or being personal. It's helping to advance and make things better. So I think that is what helped me immensely is also listening to others and what they told me. And that helped me a lot of, more senior leaders or have been more around in the world and understand certain things better than I did. And that helped me. So I can always give the other advice, listen to others and be open what they say. And now what? Yes.
I'm just asking.
Yes. And how can professional networks MWA support women in medicine? Well, I think they the most important to support women in medicine, and I strongly believe in networks. And I strongly believe in female networks because we also look at things with a female eye, with a female brain, with a female understanding. And as Usha so nicely put it, it's not being against men or not without losing our feminine side or without giving up what we are. We are women, but on the other hand, being a woman means we have different interests. We have different things which are of important to us, like how to balance family, your professional work, and the challenges getting on top, which is much harder for women still nowadays. Yes. So I think that's why a medical women association, a global one, is the key that we advancing and get support. And as you all know, we have of course the medical association of physicians, and in theory there are 50% women and 50% male in the world who forget physicians, but when you look at their leadership, it's mostly men who lead. And that, of course, determines the topic they debating, they are interested in, which is not always our interest. So I think they not even may understand what's important to us. So I think that's the more it's important to have a network to encourage and to understand the issues one faces. And also, I always loved when I came to regional meetings and to world meetings because it was so inspiring. And I took so many, memories back and encouragement that it helped me when I'm back at my own workplace. It helped me so much. And see, that's what
I will be showing later on few your cultural photographs, very rare photographs. I got it for you in the middle, in the middle of this thing to just show the audience because they are interested in knowing. Like you said, you had gone to regional meeting, CRC. You are wearing their national costume. If you, Saraya Madam will recollect, and we had a real good fun. And we could connect. Basically, we could connect, and we really came to know each and every person. Myself, I was groomed by Madam Saraya, and I got to know all the world leaders, regional leaders. So I think thank you very much for that. Now, coming to a very important question that the advocacy against the domestic violence, though you are radiologist or the chemistry, PhD, all. But your main heart goes to the, this violence against women advocacy. That is, I think, your foray. And also that Wipro project. And I want to really recollect here when ICOG chairperson, we have worked very, very well, on the Zoom platform. And Saraya Madam, Nalini and Gauri, everybody will know that we have 3 days course in the this domestic prevention of domestic violence, which was attended by around 300. And you were one of the faculty along with police commissioner, and it was very well appreciated that 3-day course. So looking at your interest in your tremendous work in the domestic violence and Wipro project, we would like to know what is this Wipro project, and what is the impact of that project, for this prevention of domestic violence.
Oh, yeah, thank you. So you're very correct, Mandakini. We really worked closely together and we had very good courses and a very nice handbook actually you published on that. And I have a chapter in this. So I think you're doing all of your association doing wonderful work on this topic. And it's of course needed. Unfortunately, all over the world, we have to say this is a global issue. And despite, all these programs and, money spent on it, it's not really changing. We're having still this problem. And so how come a radiologist and a chemist to this topic? And maybe also I'd like to share with you again. I came to it when I started when I was younger, and then we have the police university in Munster. And this police university, this is a university for police officers who are on the leadership level, master students. And one of the professors was applying for money to get some grant from the European Union and to improve how the police and the social sector and the medical sector could work together. They had no medical doctor in this project. So the EU said, well, that's a very nice project, but if you don't have any physician, we won't fund you. And of course, they didn't know anyone. And then somebody told him, there is one woman, she works international, she speaks English well, so ask her, she may be interested. So they asked me, and then I decided to join. And it's my third EU project now, and all about violence against women. And so how it started, and so I got really interested in this topic, and then now we come to VIPROM, which is my VIPROM, Victim Protection in Medicine. It's the project I'm leading, I'm coordinating for 3 years. And this is a very rare EU project because we get money to teach, which it's amazing. So this project, the EU pays 1.6 million euro to develop teaching materials, to develop a European training platform, and to develop a curriculum for the medical sector, for nurses, for midwives, for physicians, for med students, for all kinds of stakeholders. Dentist has never been addressed, but this is how we did that too. And what we done in this project now is we developed a curriculum. We actually installed a train the trainer course, a European one and a national one, so that people know how to use our materials, which is on this platform, and everybody has the same curriculum. And we drafted a pedagogic handbook, how to work with this material, how, what can you do if your participants, your training get traumatized, re-traumatized, because they have been victims themselves or have been dealing with cases. We address how you do role plays, simulation studies, and so on. And so now we finished all our train the trainer courses. Now we've piloted all our trainings. And then the moment we're doing a European webinar series. So we just finished the 3rd, but we're going to have 10 webinar series. And the webinars can be viewed on demand. So they can be found on YouTube. So we do now, a lot of outreach, and I think it changed a lot since we had this project, because our faculty now has included domestic violence as mandatory subject. So I teach all graduate medical students in domestic violence. Every term, 140 students. And that is an amazing achievement, because we are the only one in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland to do that. It's mandatory. We're having a summer school in Munster, International Summer School for med students. We have 1 day of domestic violence. So I think now I just finished teaching trainers for midwives on this topic. We're having a new we have a congress in Munster of midwives. We speak about it. I go wherever I go, speak about it. And I think meanwhile, people know the project. And I think that changed a lot. So that it's coming out of the silence. That is the most important. But what we realized when we did a needs assessment, we asked a lot of stakeholders in Europe, nurses and everyone, and said, well, what do you need? What you are lacking in training? What skills you need when we train? And most of them said, well, we don't know how to communicate well. We don't know how to ask in a respectful way. We're not sure about documenting things. We're still not sure what are the legal obligations in the various countries. And we need self-care. We need self-care. We realize that dealing, and everybody knows dealing with these cases, and I've seen cases like this, we get affected, it's emotionally troubling. Our heart is suffering when we see these things. And usually in medicine, nobody speaks about it. We just should function, do what we need to do, treat patients, but we need also self-care. And so based on that, we developed also a self-study module on self-care. So everybody can do by himself or herself and learn new strategies, how to improve it, or also to understand when one needs help, because you're already, burned out by the work you do or being traumatized. And that is what WIPOM is all about. And I think we changed a lot how things now that we brought self-care on the table. We brought teaching on the table, and we talk about wherever we do. I talk wherever I go and about violence and did podcasts.
Thank you, Bettina. I think you have explained it very well. And I would like to share that today also in the MWIA, Dr. Mini is the in charge for this, this gender violence committee. And myself, I am the global training, I think on the lines which you are doing. We are trying to, follow it. And we have been doing the training all over the world.
Yes.
We did it in the this Nairobi, then we did in this our CRC, Bangkok, Pakistan, and we are on it. And Dr. Gauri is helping me with, she's a convener, and Dr. Nalini and everybody is there for, their inputs. So with this, we have a young person, Dr. Gauri will like to ask you one question regarding this gender issue. Gauri, please
Yes.
ask.
Yes, ma'am.
Question.
Actually,
Very brief question.
Yes, my brief question, because ma'am, you've been taking these training sessions for everyone, and it is really heartening to see this. And Dr. Megh has also been encouraging us to have these global courses, and we've been conducting this. But when we've been doing this, we still see that gender-based violence is still rising all over the world. I mean, in most of the countries, wherever we have taken this, we've had some sessions also. We've had a feedback from members that, it is still on the rise. So is there anything like any urgent or important solution that you could give, that, there are laws, there are things, so that, that we can address gender-based violence in a quick manner, or some urgent or important solutions that we can give for implementation of these things?
Yeah. Oh, thank you for this very important question. I think it's not a quick issue. That, unfortunately, I wished, because I'm doing this for 20 years now. Now it's not big. You have to be, again, having endurance, persistence. However, what I strongly believe in is to break the silence, and that's why I strongly believe that you as physicians have a very important role, because you can ask and you should screen and you should ask everyone. And I think that is the most important, to open a door, to make little cracks in walls, because it's such a private issue, and many women are very ashamed and would not even talk about it. And of course, you cannot expect miracles, right? I mean, even if you ask someone and she may agree and said, yes, I'm suffering violence at home, but she doesn't want to go to the police, right? It's a problem in Germany, and I think all over the world. Usually they think it's a private matter, or they're too afraid to report. And so sometimes you have to ask 8 times or 9 times before, she may even open up. So that is very important to understand. You have to ask and ask and ask. That's so important, the screening, and to be there and support. And then after maybe 8 and 9 times, she may be ready to report anything. But this will take time. And this is the first thing you have to understand, that you need patience and ask constantly. That's why I'm teaching it to med students, so that they start early on understanding, and we do practices. How do you ask? In gynecology, as most of you I know, there are gynecologists. This is one of the most risk situations when you're pregnant, because often, the perpetrator gets really angry because he feels like, he loses control, which is a very important thing, or his wife may not be so interested in him anymore, or whatever. Maybe the baby is a competitor, and then, they start hitting in the belly, and they do other things. And that's where you have a chance to actually see it, but you have to ask. I think that's the first thing. The second thing I believe is to get men into the boat. As Usha said, we cannot work against them. So they must change and how they look at women and what they feel it's their role, They're not their property in some sense. You have to respect your wife, and you have to respect, that you must respect her in that way, that you don't hurt her. And I don't mean only hitting physically, but most of the violence is also verbally, and it's insulting, it's threatening, it's belittling and making you feel being nothing. And I think that's also is violence, and that needs to be understood, that it's not right that you belittle, insult your wife, for instance, or it's not okay that you rape 15 years old, 12 years old, 11 years old girls. And it's happening, of course. And it has to be, and I think we have to start at school now. I go to schools now also, and we have to have these, we tell them, we say it's sort of ambassadors. So young other people, like students, go to schools and educate them. How should relationship be? What is a toxic relationship? What are warning signs? How you should not be talked to. And if somebody talks to you like this, it's not okay. It's not okay. And I think these things have to be taught from an early point, really early on, that they understand that if somebody talks to them like this, so it's a problem. And I think it's the same for boys. They need education too, that you should not talk to someone like this, that you should be respectful, and hitting is not okay, and yelling is not okay. And I think the younger people, younger boys and girls are, I think the more we can hopefully change. And that's what I think we need to do. Start going to schools very early and teach them what is a good relationship, what is respect. And I think that will help in the long run.
Thank you. We have few more questions, but before that, our audience wants to see what actually you have been doing in the international conferences. So allow me to just share your few of the photographs. If you allow me, then I'll just show you, and then we will continue with the this thing. 1 minute.
I'm very curious now to see them. Oh yeah, in Mumbai with my dear friend Mimi.
So yeah, this is 1 minute.
I was very young at that time,
Yeah,
10 years
yeah,
younger, I
yeah.
tell you. Gee.
This is the 100 years of our UK. They call it a World Federation of women. So this is, I think, centenary celebration in London. You can see all the top people here, and it was my pleasure and honor also, to see you. This is our Nariman Point. Here you have come here, and we were roaming. I was taking photograph. This is our Overa and Nariman Point, and we had lovely time when Dr. Vandana Valvekar was the president that time, and
Yes.
Dr. Bettina was so means like generous that she came on her own. She stayed with us. We took her around in the clubs and all, and it was a wonderful time. Bettina, I think that was very nice.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I know, yes, in London.
and this is the 100 year of the
And
UK
what is the best?
Federation. Yeah,
Yes.
so we have celebrated Mumbai AMWI is the oldest because 1907 we have established. After that, this is a centenary in 2017, and after that is our MWI, which was 2019 in New York.
Yes.
And you can see Dr. Bettina's award as a Girard oration. And we are very proud that you have delivered this oration in, I think, 2010. So this is the photograph, and we have all here. And this is again the conference photograph. You can see all of us, Nalini, everybody, and see the how lovingly she's keeping hand on my shoulder. So thank you, Bettina, for all that support. And Nalini looking lovely, and
Yeah, we
Bettina
love
is
each
all.
other.
You can see this is I wanted to show you because wherever Dr. Bettina goes, she, this is when in Rome, you dress like a Roman. So it was her Bangkok. You can see CARC, this for, I think 2018 or something like that. And she is dressed in a local, Bangkok Thai attire. We couldn't dress because they couldn't find up our size. So we couldn't dress. So this is a beautiful photograph you can see here. So Dr. Bettina has been going and see all the office bearer here. I will tell you, this is Dr. Bettina, who was the president that time, Secretary General Dr. Shelly Ross. Then this is from Hong Kong. What is her name? Bettina, I forgot. And all these people.
TCU.
Yeah, yeah. And all these office bearers were there, and it was wonderful, session. I think we really enjoyed along with the academics. And thank you for everything, Bettina. You
Thank
can
you.
see now. Now you can see this is the Vienna conference, and Dr. Bettina is giving her, the baton to the Dr. Park, who is our second, who is going to be there, invited Gauri on the 26th this April. She will be the
Next.
second person, next person to podcast and the interview we are going to take. And Dr. Bettina is giving her the charge in the Vienna. And you can see here Dr. Elinar, everybody here, Dr. Saraya, everybody. And this is the thing where actually we were so much isolated. We went in spite of everything to 2022 in the MWA International Conference in Taiwan. And I was after going there, I came COVID positive twice. So I was isolated, but anyhow, finally I recovered. And you can see beautiful photograph. And this conference was inaugurated by the Prime Minister of Taiwan, and they were finance minister. That lady, she is the Prime Minister of Taiwan. And this is her this memento. We are very proud that Association Medical Women is so much, collaborating with the Medical Women International and looking forward this future collaboration. So this was just to have a little bit of diversion from our interview, and there are 2-3 questions more.
Madam, you're muted.
Yeah, we don't hear her anymore.
Make ma'am, yeah. Make ma'am, yeah.
Okay. But now I'm seen here also. Okay.
Yeah, ma'am, you can continue. You're seen in two places, but you can continue the talking.
Okay. So my presence is better at two places, so no problem. So now, Bettina, we have this. Sorry. Hmm. We have this question for you. Now, what is your future vision and also the global health perspective, personal insight? What do you like to give us message to the our young person as a future vision for our this medical women and also for the MWIA?
Yes, thank you for this very thoughtful question. My vision is twofold. The first vision is, let's start with the global woman, right? I honestly hope that what we achieve will not get lost. Because as you all know, the world changed in this year. I don't want to go into this all political turmoils, but I guess everybody understands that this position and situation for women is getting more tough. In many countries, we have so-called populists, parties getting in the rise. It's the same in Germany. We have also the same problem. That means everything we achieved in many years of fighting, getting, as Dr. Usha nicely put it, equal, gender parity, harmony. I like this word much better. It's getting much more difficult. Words like in Germany, even, I teach sex and gender sensitive medicine. Many people say, don't use that word. Don't use gender, but we have a gender-based violence. I cannot change that. Most women are affected and not men. So we need to name it. But you see, this is a problem and it become a problem. So my vision is that we come back to the status quo we had before these populist things raised. And we come back to the achievements and that people allow us to say, it's a gendered issue. Women are more affected and we need to protect women. And this is a problem, so that is really my serious hope that we'll come back to some other, to better times for women, because now we have to start the struggle again. I thought we had overcome, and this is one thing I really honestly want us to and that's why coming to MWA, that the MWA will play a very important, strong role in this respect, that it will be a safe platform for us to talk about it. It will be a safe platform for us to discuss measures and to help us, help us getting us back more on the table and being again in decision positions. And as you all know, the world changes in medicine. We have more women. We have more women in at med school. I think it's a global issue, but I guess it's all over the world that men are the leaders. In leadership position, we have not enough women. In my hospital, for instance, we have 140 men and 6 women as professors or 7. So it tells you something, right? And we need this 50, or in Germany, we have 80% women studying medicine in Munster. So I want these women to stay on, have the courage and support to become leaders, and then they will change the face of medicine again and bring our topics to the table. And like I said, MWA maybe needs to be in the same role it has 105 years ago, or 106 years, when it was founded to strengthen women and their role and their faces. It was similar, women were not allowed to advance. They had problems studying medicine. Okay, this is no problem now, but they were not considered being equal and being leaders. And we need to have women leadership, female leadership in medicine. And I think MWA needs to be that voice, to help women understand and strengthen them and support them in these difficult times.
Okay, Bettina, what are your memories of the India? And how do you place AMWI at the world map?
So India, I have very, very famous, very fond and famous, I would say. No, I have very fond memories. You showed already some pictures. I was very impressed when I went to this, the regional meeting of Central Asia when I was there, as you showed the pictures, and I could see the quality of the presentation, which come from the area. And as you know, I'm a professor, I'm a scientist, I love science, and I was really impressed. That was the first thing, absolutely spectacular. And I still keep saying my students, listen, you need to really see what people are doing in the world, which is great, and don't be only in your tiny little Germany. It's not sufficient. The other thing is I had the honor to visit the Kama hospital, you know, and we went to the Cytology clinic. So I heard, you know, it was already introduced. And it was really interesting to have a tour of the hospital, to see this hospital, I think, was founded by the British, but it is only devoted to women, which I think is great. And they do, you know, obstetrics and treatment of women diseases, and I could see the great work they're doing, and I was really impressed. And I also was able to plant a tree. I hope this tree is still there. They have a garden, and I was able to, one tree I was planted by me, very, very fond memory.
It is there. It is there. And I think you went to the Victoria Terminus also, the station.
Yes.
Yes. You went to
And
see the Dr. Saria took her to the station, which is one of the very, very historical and very unique Victoria Terminus. We call it a Shivaji, terminus now. And it was wonderful memories. And I think,
and I went to this temple, the Ganesh temple. So it was also very nice. So I think I have many, many fond memories, and I mean,
so you are rating India and AMWI very happy that you are rating us very high, and we want to see that somebody should lead from the Central Asia at the world level. That is all our members wanting also. So I think that will be great if any of us, can be, take the, the, what I can say, leadership ahead, I can say. So I think
maybe
Gauri, you can, tell me.
Can I add one thing? I think what I also want medical women to do, and the young ones, that's my message to the young ones.
We are coming to that, the last question. Gauri, you are going to ask, and one question, Nalini, madam is not there. So Gauri, that, the last question is, that what is that you please ask that last question. You have that
So,
in.
ma'am, before we come to a close, because I can see that there are a lot of junior and younger women who have joined us today from all over the world. So, there are two questions. How do you look at yourself as a young woman leader? Looking back, what do you think that you did and you would have wanted to do something more differently? Looking back at your own life, or what would you advise young women leaders to get involved into these activities? Most of us would be doing our own clinical work, or managing our families, but not coming out and getting actively involved. Now in India, we have Dr. Megh. This year she has been really making new members, and you're trying to increase our involvement. But then how do we really motivate them, and how should we take this work forward?
I think what is very important, that's why I spoke about young. I think the problem often, I think also young women face, is that they don't believe they're good enough to do certain things. It has to do with courage, self-courage. And we doubt too often, and at the very end don't dare to do certain things because we think we are not ready yet. And I think that was also when I was asked to do things, sometimes I turned them down, and from inside I thought shouldn't have done it. But I said, oh my God, maybe I'm not good enough, and it's so many self-doubts. And now I'm a professor, so in med school I really try to install self-courage and tell them, look, you can do it, you have to do it, and you will do fine. Everybody is supportive, and I think the barriers are among us in our brain, and I think we have to really overcome this, because many things, and I realized that when I look others doing it, what I said I can't do it because it's way too difficult and I probably can't do it, I realized they did it much worse than I would have done it. You know what I mean? But they never were having any issues about it. It was mostly men, of course. They had never these self-doubts. And yeah, I think when I realized that I have to work on this, I just took things and did it. And when people asked me if I wanted to do this and that, I said, okay, I do. Because I felt they asked me once, only once, and if I turn it down, they will not ask again. So even if you're young, when I start doing work, when I organized the Munster Congress, it was 2010. When the Munster Congress, the World Congress was in Munster, it's about 15 years ago. And no, it was 15 years ago. And my kids were still at school. They were quite young, and I was thinking, oh my God, can I do this? My kids are still at school. They're underage, they're teenies and so on. And I realized it was wonderful. It worked well. And they were proud of me. They liked that, having this woman coming from all over this world and doing my work. So I think you have to, my children grow by my work doing it. And, when I was debating, shall I become president or run for president of the medical women? And I asked my kids and my family, shall I do it? I said, of course, Mom. Why not? So my kids not being asked me, why not? And I think so sometimes your kids are less brainy than yourself. Yeah, I think so. I think it's so. What I really want to say: don't be afraid to try things and to do things. Even I have two kids. But I had this time 2 teenage daughters. Still went to school, and I did all this work. And I think for them, they were proud. They liked this. They learned a lot about the world. And maybe one very nice story when I was in Vienna. The Vienna Congress. When I was installed as president, it's 2016. My daughter, who just finished school, she was 18 years old or 19 years old, and she was helping me analyzing some data about violence against the elderly, right? Because we had very nice NWA data and we analyzed them and we submitted an abstract for this conference. And it was an abstract for poster. But the scientific committee said, oh, it needs to be a presentation. And my daughter said, oh, no, I cannot do this. My daughter said, I'm not going to do this. And I said, listen, you do that. We do it as team. And it was the first mother-daughter team at this meeting. So I spoke and my daughter spoke half of the time. And, so I think that you have to do, not say don't do it. We just try to find ways how to do it. And my daughter now is very much into domestic violence against the elderly because she gave this talk and analyzed the data. So my response is just, young. And at med school, I always make them understand that it's important that they have the choice. They have to change medicine, but they have to be part of it. And really make them aware that, that the glass ceiling is there and you have to walk your own, I always say, your own carpet. It's very rare that for women, nowadays even, somebody is giving you the red carpet, and you offer you all these great opportunities. So if you get some chances, do it. Don't be afraid and do it as teams. So we do a lot now for young people co-sharing, which I think it's a very good opportunity. Pairing a more experienced one with a less experienced junior partner as a team. And I think that works really well. So I do this now a lot. So I'm running a lecture series. It's called Medicine and Music. And my co-host, he is a very young physician. And, we do it together. And sometimes we run even the host and moderates things. So I think that we should also be doing. Not saying, oh, it's only one on top, but for instance, in some committees, we pair seniors and juniors. And though they're not afraid to be responsible all of themselves for everything, but they can also learn how to do things. And it's not too dangerous to do it,
Thank you very much. Nalini, the last question. Nalini, you can ask.
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask any question, but I'm going to share something. A few years back, I conducted the workshop on this domestic violence against women in Japan. You must have heard, Bettina, about IPPNW.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in that organization, I had to conduct this workshop. And there were women from all over the world. And for the first time, I was shocked to hear that not only in the Southeast Asia or some other, means our countries, it is going on, but in the Western world also, there is domestic violence and discrimination and all that. I was really shocked, but it was an eye-opener. And one thing I want to share that day before yesterday, I read about Kiran Bedi. She was the first police officer commissioner in India, woman police commissioner. And she said that women has to look after themselves first in all aspects. Means you have to take care of your physical health, mental health, economical health, family and responsibility, everything. But beyond that, you have to go beyond that and look after yourself first, and then only you can help to others. So I think I was very much impressed, and just I wanted to share. So thank you so much, Mandakini and Bettina and all.
Well, that is a very good advice. Look after yourself. That I mean by self-care, because you are also important. Women tend to forget that. That we have to look after ourselves. And it's as you said, it's a topic all over the world, and that's why to understand and to advocate, as Dr. Mandakini said, that is my most important thing. Wherever I go, I try to talk about it and get it out of the silence. And I think that we have to do wherever we go as medical women. And I think that's why MWA is so very much important also, as you said, that we understand we are not alone, because when you are doing things as a woman and going up the ladder or being a leadership, and you're all leaders here and you know what I'm talking about, we can be so lonely. We can be really lonely. There are not many around us, and there are more. We need other leaders globally who be around us, because at home we are alone. And so you're sitting in your room and think, oh, is this a good idea? And oh my God. And you're having sometimes self-doubts, or you have to go out and do things which are tough, and you are alone as a woman. Men have many more peers. And that's why we need networks, who help us when we leadership, in some leadership position, whatever we do, we have other women who be with us. And I think that is the most important of us in being in this network.
Thank you. In India, we have started the chapters. You are aware that we had only 3 branches.
I know.
Mumbai, Kolkata, and Nagpur. Now what we have done, that the places, even at the rural places, so many gynecologists are there, other specialty. So now we have started the chapter. They are doing fantastic activities, and we have increased by around, say, 50 or 100 members, and day in and day out, people want to become member. Younger and younger people are coming. Those who are gold medalists in the sports, from all the fields, because we have opened it. And my vision is to, whole India, there should be at least 100 to 150 chapters, so that all of them, previously it was only 3. And
absolutely. Congratulations.
Yeah. So thank you very much. And I think people like you and others are inspiring us. And a last word, that what is a key message, only in one sentence you want to give us, please give in one line. What should be the key message for us? And then we will close this important session again.
Female doctors are ambassadors of change.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. And I think Gauri, myself, Nalini, we are and really want to come on the, international platform also. I have been working with you as a social media chairperson, website development. I worked very closely with Dr. Bettina and learned about her. When Gauri said, Madam, is it possible that she will come? I said, she will definitely come, because she's so sincere and she's so prompt. The moment I write, she writes back. That is the quality of the leader. So, Bettina, we are really inspired.
Thank you.
We want to follow you and also other leaders also. And thank you very much for being in our life and keep on guiding us for the future. With these words, I declare this session to be over.
Ma'am, yes, I think it has been a wonderful session, and Dr. Bettina has been so openly and so happily sharing such lovely things with us today. That as young leaders and as women doctors, we have so much to learn from her and from her experiences. And I think this has been a wonderful session. I mean, this could just go on and on for hours together. But I think we have to come to a halt. So I would request Dr. Nalini Kurve ma'am to give her closing remarks and to propose the vote of thanks also to to Dr. Monica, who has been here helping us.
I want to declare that next session will be with Dr. Park from the Korea. She is also a Girard, prestigious Girard Oration awardee. And I want to inform Dr. Bettina that all the awardees, like, we have other from the Nigeria, so many awardees, we are going to, interview them, take their views, and get inspired by their talk. Nalini, please go ahead with your.
Yeah, very good evening to one and all. And we have come a long way, I should say, or we all know that we have come a long way from women struggling to enter into the medical field till date. We are in the position that getting the admission in a medical school, that is an honor for the whole family nowadays. So we have come such a long way. And we have these role models with us, like Bettina and all that. And thank you, Bettina, for accepting our invitation and guiding us and talking so much passionately about your achievement, about your diversion of career, about your taking care of your children along with your study and all that, and your vision about the future of MW, not only for MWIA, but for all the women. So thank you so much taking the time. And I remember you during that Girard oration ceremony. We did that ritual of giving shawl and shrifal and applying kumkum on the forehead of Bettina, and she was very much overwhelmed. Yeah, I know, I know. Yeah, you are fascinated and overwhelmed. So it was very nice to have you. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mandakini Megh. Yes, being the president, she has conceptualized this whole beautiful idea. And yes, she is the brainchild behind it and helping Dr. Gauri and who is Monica. They have helped us like a lot. So thank you so much, young girls. Keep doing like that. And Dr. Amit Punkar for helping us with all the technical, these technical facilities, and Dr. Usha Saraiya. She graced this webinar, and she talked about the medical women, how they are efficient and how we should be feminine, but keep our domain as women medical professional.
And
so thanks all the delegates from the bottom of our heart. Thank you so much for joining us today in this wonderful series, wonderful podcast. And thank you so much.
I
And
request
good evening.
everybody, next time Dr. Park is going to give a very good insight of the Korean region. So you all join, you are going to get every time a very big geographical area represented by this leader. And you will have variety of, variety of talks and different experience, and that will make it a full bloom session. So with this, thank you very much.
So, and a special thanks to Dr. Mandakini Megh for, actually conceptualizing this and getting this forward, because getting all these women leaders to talk to us is like a blessing in disguise. They are like guidelines for all of us. And thank you for spreading this light, ma'am. And thank you, Bettina, ma'am, and all our seniors and all the lovely women who have joined from all over the world and have been with AMWI today evening. So we wish you a lovely evening, and thank you very, very much for being with us. So we take your leave and we end the session. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
And
Yeah.
photograph.
Thank you, everybody.
Photographs, Kritika?
Yes, ma'am.
ఎట్లా ఎవడ చేస్తారు సురయ్య మేడం
Yeah, we are still live. Can we stop the live session?
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Dr. Amit, can we stop the live session?
Yeah, yeah. Dr. Amit, is he there? Or we can leave one mic. That is also.
Yeah, we will leave. Thank you, Bettina ma'am.
Yeah.
It was just
Okay.
superb.
Thank you
listening to
and
Thank
goodbye.
you.
Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you.